Welcome back to our Kelley Blue Book coverage of the North American International Auto Show in Detroit. And with me is the head of MINI, as you're so fond of saying, Jim McDowell. Thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
Tell us all about what's going on with MINI. What was 2007 like, and what do you expect for 2008?
2007 was MINI's best year yet, so it was a great year for us. We don't measure success purely in terms of volume, but we sold 42,000 MINIs, which is a number that we never could have imagined when we launched MINI.
And it was a number that MINI probably didn't make for 20 years in the American market 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
I'm confident that it was a very successful year in comparison to history.
You had a new vehicle introduced into the market. The Clubman is now coming into market. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, well, the Clubman goes on sale on the 16th of February. We think it will draw a lot of new people to the MINI franchise, but it's also the first full year that we'll be selling the new MINI hardtop. So we're looking for a great year in 2008.
Right. With the Clubman, a lot of people consider MINI. They love what MINI stands for. They love the expressive nature of the vehicle, but maybe some of them found just a little bit too small for them, and you really address that in a lot of ways with the Clubman, don't you?
Yeah, we think that it really meets a lot of people's needs that looked at a MINI but just couldn't quite convince themselves they could live with a package that small. And even though it's only 9 inches longer, it makes all the difference in the world because of the flexibility of the doors. You can really use all that space. And in particular, it's really easy to get 2 teenagers in the back seat, something that wasn't possible before.
You might never get them out because they like it so much being back there. The neat thing about the Clubman too is it retains all that fun and fun to drive nature of the MINI. If you had given that up, you would lose quite a bit, wouldn't you?
And without a doubt, we would not want to give up that wonderful MINI driving feel. But actually, the new platform was designed with the new Clubman in mind, so it wasn't in any way a compromise. It was something that we knew when we developed the next range of MINIs.
Really, MINI has kind of created a new class in the United States. It was a class that maybe had a little more resonance in Europe, the kind of the premium small car. But why do you think it's been so successful in the U.S. when others haven't been able to pull that off?
See, I think a lot of people buy a MINI that have the resources to buy a much larger, more powerful, more expensive car, but they choose the MINI because it's the right car for them. And from that perspective, they really want to UIfy it. They want to make it an extension of themselves. That's why they're so careful in terms of specifying the car and wait for it to be built to their exact specification. And then continuing to modify it when they get it. That's a whole class of car that we haven't had in this market before.
And you can really be proud of this car, and a lot of people think this car costs a lot more than it really does, and that's kind of a key to success in this market, no matter what kind of car you have, isn't it?
Well, thank you for saying that. To me, a MINI is very jewel-like, and it's always very hard to figure out what a jewel costs, but really has a sparkling appearance, and you have no idea that it's also a very economical car, too.
Clubman's coming. You have other things in the product pipeline too. Where do you take this brand? What do you do with something that has this panache in the marketplace?
Well, you know, MINI has a very definite design vocabulary, and it has a driving feel. It should drive like a go-kart. And from that perspective, there are many body styles that could be adapted to. They'll each be a small niche, but added together, it could be a sizable range of opportunities in a good-sized company.
As you develop another one and another one and another one, how do you keep that essential MINI-ness? What about MINI has to remain?
Well, our engineers are the ones that make that possible because they're determined that every car should have the wheels at the corner. It should have that distinctive MINI feel. You should be able to understand that you're in a MINI, that even if you were in a big field of asphalt and were driving with your eyes closed, you would be able to know that this car responds like a MINI. And definitely the directness of the steering, and that overall sense of, wow, this is fun driving.
You don't want to lose that, and you're going to retain it, and that certainly is the key to success. Thanks so much for talking to us, Jim.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Okay. Continue to stay with us for more coverage of the North American International Auto Show at kbb.com.